Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Let me know if you guys can hear me, and we'll go ahead and get started. What a day, right? I mean, what a week for crypto in general. What a month. Ever since March, we've been climbing and climbing and climbing, and we showed videos one after another in this region, right? I mean, if you go look at the YouTube channel, we said Ethereum, accumulation region of a lifetime. We made a video on Bitcoin and called it the preamble to the bull market, right? We made another video on Bitcoin and said this is our reaccumulation phase. So, what do we call this? What do we call this? Does anyone know what we call this? If you know what we call this, let me know in the comments. When we see these kinds of moves, especially during, right off our fair value accumulation region, what is this? Someone has to know what we call this. Yeah, it's parabolic. What else do we call it? It's crypto. All right, I don't think you guys are getting it yet. Yeah, I mean it's potentially getting into a bubble. I'm still waiting for it. There we go. PEB 1912, got it. Business as usual, right? This is business as usual. These moves in crypto are, they're par for the course. You're going to see them happen time and time again. Yes, it could be reminiscent of a speculative bubble, but again, these types of moves happen quite frequently in crypto, right? I mean, this isn't new. Seeing Ethereum go up, 66%, isn't really new, to be completely honest. I mean, if you were to go back and look, kind of some of the things we've seen in the past, let's go back to 2016. So this here was our 2016 move. So in 2016, this is when Bitcoin was holding the 20-week moving average as support. And in this region, we came into our fair value region, right? Our fair value, and we went up. And it went up approximately 1,300%, approximately, right? What's a few 100% among friends, depending on exactly where you bought or maybe where you sold. But this, right, is the types of moves that we've seen Ethereum do in the past, and is why we were accumulating for so long. And here's another one, right? This was when Bitcoin got to its previous all-time high, more or less. And you take a move, and you can see it went up 4,400% in a few months, and to the peak, it went up another 17,000%. Now, it's useful to look at this stuff, not because we think this is going to happen again, but we've looked right at how Bitcoin behaves and through each market cycle, and then we've made those projections, right, to Ethereum. We've made those projections to Ethereum to identify where could we be during this market cycle, right? This is, we've been talking about it for a while. In a few videos ago, we made a video on, an Ethereum price prediction for like the middle part of the market cycle, like the kind of like halfway between. So somewhere, I basically said sometime in the next 12 to 18 months, I expect Ethereum to get to a valuation of $750, and a lot of people said that was insane. And we were at $235 at the time, and now we're already up to $385. So you see how quickly the sentiment in the market changes, right? I mean, it's crypto. It's the same thing over and over. Everything is dead until it's not, and then the FOMO comes in, eventually you start to get the dumb money pouring in. People are wanting to take out second mortgages, take loans that they can't afford, and it's just rinse and repeat, right? It's the same cycle over and over and over. So what we're looking for certainly is not a 1,300% move, right? I mean, this would be insane. I mean, I would welcome it if it happened, but for Ethereum, I mean, we're only at a 66% move from our fair value, which is where we were only a week or two ago. So, we are moving up quite quickly. If we were to say move up to around 750, it would be approximately a 220% move from the fair value. Now, I don't think we're going to get to 750 next week, but to be completely honest, I didn't think we were going to be at 383 this week. So, ultimately what I'm looking for, right, is I'm just looking to see, okay, well, we knew this was going to happen, right? I mean, we've even spoken about it, and I even posted a Twitter post on it recently. I said, what is, and maybe some of you, if you follow me on Twitter, maybe you saw it, but it's like, what is your favorite mountain range? And in the United States, you have the Rocky Mountains, you have the Appalachian Mountains, or Appalachian, depending on what region of the country you live in. If you grew up in the Southeast, you probably call it Appalachian. If you grew up anywhere else, you call it Appalachian. I prefer the Ethereum mountain range because these are mountains that can really make you a lot of money if you can get in at the appropriate times. So if we extend this back down, you can see this Ethereum mountain range forming, and now, at least for the short term, we're heading back up. Now, the question, right, on everyone's mind is, well, how high can we go? How high can this actually go before we start to come back down? And again, the answer to that is anyone's guess. No one knows how high this is going to go before it comes back down. If you look at the last cycle, we went up significantly, but then we basically moved sideways and down back into the regression band. So if we were to do something like that, then let's put it this way. There's a really good chance during this market cycle that Ethereum will be back within the regression band. Okay, so if you zoom in to where Ethereum is right now, it is popped above it. So right, you can see it's popped above the regression band. Regression band upper limit here ended at 340 or so, and now we're at 386, 385, as you can see. But I still think there's a good chance we'll be back in the regression band in the market cycle. Now, the question, right, is when is that going to happen? I mean, is it going to happen tomorrow? It could. Or is it going to happen 2 years from now, and the fair value at that time might be $800 per Ethereum, or, per Ether? So this is obviously the question that needs answering, right? Like, what are we going to do? How quickly are we going to get there? And are you going to make money along the way? Now, what I'm doing, as I've mentioned many times, right, is I just base it on the risk metric, and I would encourage you to check it out if you haven't seen it. Before we get into that, though, let's take a quick look at Bitcoin, because I mean, Bitcoin is skyrocketing as well. I mean, it's not even just an Ethereum show. Ethereum is leading the charge, right? I mean, you can see the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio has been just going up tremendously in just the last few weeks. I mean, and this was loosely our downtrend. This is the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio moving down for a number of years, kind of moving sideways for a little bit. For those who like to call double bottoms, you can see a theoretical double bottom, and then slowly starting to move back up. And now, what have we been saying all along too? We said that this is our new accumulation region. So this will likely be our re-accumulation region, right? Our kind of like the intermediate accumulation region for Ethereum during the market cycle. And we were calling for that way over here, like way back in 2019. Even I was making videos saying that this will be our new accumulation region. So remember, there's a chance, as we've shown before, and I'll get to the questions in a minute. I'm sure you guys are going crazy in the chat. There is a chance, right, that we pop above it, to a much higher valuation, and then come back down. Okay, so this is always a chance. So something like that Or another option, right, would just be to, if we, let me get the brush here. So the other option would be just to kind of steadily make our way up through this new accumulation region. So these are basically the two things I could see playing out. Obviously, there's always a chance that we come back down. This is always a possibility. But as long as Bitcoin stays healthy, then there's a good chance that Ethereum, as we've said all along, will continue to shine. So you have to keep that in mind, and this is what we've been talking about all along. I never try to mislead you guys. I try to tell you exactly what I think. I'm not trying to put out a prediction that I think is wildly or grossly inaccurate, or trying to put out hope that doesn't exist. I'm telling you what I think will happen over the next market cycle, and you've seen how quickly things can turn around. So, and one of the things we had noted too, if you look back at, if you look at the BLX, and you go to the weekly time frame, right? If you go to the weekly time frame, and we plot back on, say this is actually taking a while to load. Maybe there's too many people using TradingView. So if you put back on that 20-week moving average, right? Back in 2015, and we called this too, right? Bitcoin got above the 20-week on October 15th. And then let's just take it to late January. It's about 105 days. Maybe if you take it to earlier January, let's just take it to the beginning of January. So when Bitcoin got above the 20-week moving average to when Ethereum started to move, which was in the first quarter of 2016, it was around 91, 98 days, somewhere in that time frame. Now, so 91 days. If you go to the present day, if we take a measured move, Bitcoin got above the 20-week on April 27th. Would anyone care to gander at, 91 days, right? 91 days after Bitcoin was above the 20-week moving average, this is when Ethereum started to break out. I said it could happen, Bitcoin at least needs to be above the 20-week. It would sure be better, in my opinion, if Bitcoin can hold the 20-week as support, right? And the reason for that is because we've seen, parabolic moves in the past only to ultimately fall back below the 20-week moving average. Okay, so I would like to see the 20-week moving average held. For all we know, it's not going to be held for another 6 months. Like it could take 6 more months before we even revisit the 20-week moving average. So I don't know, but if you look here, early 2016, 91 days, you go to the Ethereum chart, and we've shown this before. Early 2016, January, that's when Ethereum moved. Same thing. Bitcoin got above the 20-week in April, late April. 91 days later, you're starting to see that Ethereum move again. And it looks really similar. If you look here, you see these candles, how steep they are. It's going to be, obviously it would depend on the aspect ratio, but if you were to take, say, like a measured, let me fix this. If you take it from here, well, let's take it from January, actually, because this is when it really starts to move. So if you take it from here to, say, that first pump, it was around a 69 degree angle on this aspect ratio. So let's just keep the same aspect ratio and draw the same trend at present time. Yeah, it's about the same, like a 61 degree move. This is, it's exciting, right? It's everyone loves to be here. The smart money is really doing well. The money that has been accumulating, especially within our regression band for the last 2 years, give or take. And because of that, those people that were able to accumulate at those lower levels are already up 3 or 4x, or maybe even up to 5x, almost, depending on exactly where you got in. So this is why it makes a big difference, because if you let's say you put in $10,000 into Ethereum at $100, it's already worth almost 40 grand, right? So if it goes up another 10x from here during the market cycle, you're gonna be looking at 400,000, right? On the other hand, if you had just waited, a few weeks instead of buying it around $100, you had plenty of time to buy it $100. By the way, not just here, back in 2019 as well. Back in 2018, you could have gotten it for $85. There's been plenty of times to buy it for $100. So the people buying now at $400 or close to $400, if they get a 10x and they're investing $10,000, they're making $100,000. But if you invested it, say, a few months ago, you're looking at $400,000 if you see another 10x. So this is why it makes such a huge difference, like a huge difference. And it's also why the sell pressure, right? When Ethereum continues to form these new mountains and goes through another cycle, it's going to be really hard for people that bought at $100 and $200 and even $300 and even $400 when we're up 10x from here. The people who are buying now are up 10x. The people who bought 3 months ago are up 40x or 50x. Imagine how hard it is going to be for them not to sell, right? And this is what ultimately, it's going to be like a crazy euphoric time, kind of like it is now, but even more pronounced sometime over the next few years. And then, all the dumb money is going to be coming into the market, screaming, $50,000 per Ethereum, $100,000 per Ethereum. We're not even going to get anywhere close to that this market cycle. Like, not even close. I would consider us extremely lucky if we made it to 10,000. I'll probably be mostly out of the market well before that. I mean, if Ethereum makes it to $5,000, I'm probably just running for the hills with my profits. But yeah, so actually this is more than 61. I don't even know why I said that. It looks like it's 79. So it actually is different. So yeah, so it's quite an exciting time, but as we said, yeah, it's going parabolic. When things move up this quickly, they tend to retrace some in the short term, but it's anyone's guess how high it can go before it starts to retrace. That's the key. We don't know, and not a single YouTuber out there or any analyst in the world can reliably and accurately tell you where the top is going to be in the short term. So what I'm looking for, as I've said many times, is I look at the risk metric that we've spoken about on the channel several times. And if you're not familiar with the risk metric, I would suggest you go check out those videos. There's several of them, and I dynamically dollar cost average my way out of the market. So in the same way I dynamically dollar cost average my way in, where I'm putting a lot more money down here into the market than I am up here, right? It basically enables you to reduce your cost basis significantly by just keeping money on the sidelines for several years, and then when the market risk goes down, this is when you put in a lot of that money. When it goes up, you scale it back, okay? So Ethereum is clearly out of the regression line now. The risk is climbing. If you want to know what I'm doing, which I'm publishing on the private Telegram alerts channel, I'll remind you, and after I talk about this, I'll get to questions in the chat if you guys have them. Remember, you can check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. You guys can go there. You'll get access to a premium Telegram alert channel that tells you what I'm doing and how I'm managing it. It's not financial advice. It's kind of like a journal in a sense where I'm telling you what I'm doing. You also get access to a weekly premium video, a weekly premium report based on a lot of these models, and then finally a Google Sheets risk dashboard so you can follow along with the risk levels. So do check it out. If you have any questions, you can obviously ask. You can also pay with crypto. If you pay with 12 months, you get a 15% discount. So do take that into consideration. We also, by the way, we have a Telegram channel, and I think you guys should definitely join it. We have over 4,800 people. So I would appreciate it if you guys join the public Telegram channel. I just put it in the chat. You guys can ask questions there. You can ask about the premium list if you're interested in it. If you're not interested in that, you can ask about whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's a coin within the top, say 10 to 20 or so. If you want to talk about other coins that are not in the top 10 to 20, I would encourage you to check out my other chat, which is called Into the Crypto Cosm, and I'll go ahead and link that as well, so that you guys can check that out. So those are the plugs. Ethereum has already seen an 11.3% day. we'll continue to follow along. I did just post a video earlier talking about, the fair value market cap, right? So I'll just briefly show you that in case you haven't seen it. The idea, and remember that the angle depends on the aspect ratio. So if you create this chart and you say, oh, well, this angle looks different for me, it's because your aspect ratio is different. So for a given aspect ratio, I'm measuring the angles from the vertical. So from the bottom to the peak, bottom to the peak, bottom to the peak. So 21 degrees, 44 degrees, 58 degrees. Likely this one's going to increase, hopefully getting to a $10 trillion market cap in 2023. Now, it begs the question, right? If cryptocurrency as a whole is a $10 trillion market cap in 3 years, and Bitcoin, right? And we've talked about Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is, let's say this is Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is, say, 100, let's call 140K, plus or minus a few tens of K, what's 20 grand among friends? If this is the case, and Bitcoin is around $140,000, and the market cap is 10 trillion, and the supply of Bitcoin in 2023 is 19.3815 million, then the dominance of Bitcoin, right, is going to be 0.27, so 27%. And in the video we talked about, well, if that's the case, then maybe we see something like this where we have this other, we have another speculative bubble, right? Another speculative bubble where the altcoin dominance goes up. And you see that right now, right? I mean, Ethereum is making a significant move. In the last couple months, a lot of altcoins made significant moves against Bitcoin. Link is one of them. Cardano is another. VeChain, that's another one that made a significant move against Bitcoin recently. There's a lot of coins that have made these moves, and during the market cycle, there's going to be phases where they continue to gain on Bitcoin. The phase where they'll likely lose on Bitcoin is when Bitcoin makes that final run to 20, or that intermediate run to $20,000. Because when Bitcoin makes that move to 20K, a lot of coins will probably bleed during that time. And if you're an astute observer of the market, you'll notice that a lot of times Ethereum is moving significantly when Bitcoin is moving not as much. So like Ethereum tends to lead the move, then Ethereum after it's moved, then Bitcoin will kind of play catch up. So this has happened several times already. The nice thing though is, right, they're both going up. For the most part, they're both going up. They're kind of dancing with one another. Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up. They are dancing with one another. This candle here is really significant, as I showed the other day, and was pointed out by Alex, I believe his name was. So shout out to Alex, who's in the Telegram chat, was pointing out, that this is the second highest monthly close, or sorry, not this one, this one's August. So this one is the second highest monthly candle close in the history of Bitcoin. Like, not since, a couple years, in the history of Bitcoin. The only monthly candle to have closed above this one was this one in 2017. So it was the only candle that had a monthly close higher than the one we closed in July. Now, the reason why this is significant, right, is because, a lot of people, when you think about Bitcoin's, all-time high, we think about it in terms of 20K. And that was the all-time high, around 19.5 or so. But we spent very little time in that region. You can see this region here is where we spent the bulk of the peak of the speculative bubble. So if you think about, oh man, I wish I'd sold at 20K, I mean, really, you didn't have that much time to sell at 20K. You had a little bit of time to sell at 14K and 15K, and maybe, 13, 12K, 11K, but you really didn't have that much time to sell up here. This is significant here because, this candle is within this region, so we're between 10 and 14K. So what we hope, right, is that Bitcoin can stay in this region and hold it as support so that we can really get going, right? I mean, we really want to start moving up. And I think it's going to still take a while for us to get to a sustainable 20K Bitcoin. Don't discount the possibility, though, as we've said many times, don't discount the possibility of Bitcoin going to 20K sooner rather than later, and then coming back down, and then ultimately breaking it later on. That is a possibility. What I don't think is a possibility, I don't think that Bitcoin is going to go to 20K soon and then just break above it to 40K, 50K. I don't think that's going to happen in 2020, and I don't think Bitcoin is going to be going to 100K in 2021 either. So let's just, stay level-headed. If you are feeling overly euphoric and you don't know what to do with yourself, maybe you should go take like a cold shower, maybe just go outside and just scream at the top of your lungs, get it out, get the euphoria out, come back. This is your new money, okay? This is your money. It's not the house's money. You made a calculated investment. You took a calculated risk, right? You made an investment. You knew the risks involved. You are not lucky, right? You're not lucky for investing down here. You are smart money coming into the market when it should have been coming into the market. This is all it is. And now we're getting into, I don't want to call it dumb money per se, because we're still relatively early during the market cycle. But the money coming in now, I would say, like the big money coming in now, let's call it like less smart money. So like it's the money that was waiting for a retracement to $1,800 Bitcoin, the money that was waiting for a retracement to $3,500 Bitcoin, the money that was waiting for $6,000 Bitcoin before they got in. Then 10.5 broke, and what happened? Like the gates just unleashed, and people just started flooding into the market. The money on the sidelines, the bears are starting to realize, oh, wait a minute, what if I'm wrong? And this was the entire point all along. We said it. Even when I was here, even when Ethereum was at 230, I said there's a chance we could go down. But if we go down, we likely don't go down for very long. Usually we bounce right back out of it. Like it's just like a final capitulation if we go down from the fair value, right? But we didn't. We went up. And the point at the time, and I said this to as many people as I could find, was it's not that Ethereum or Bitcoin can't go down. It's just that what if you're wrong? Because there's a huge risk involved with not holding Bitcoin and not holding Ethereum. By not having that exposure to the market, there's such a huge risk involved, because I think about it in terms of risk the other way. It's not just risk in terms of holding a risky asset. I mean, there's also a risk, right, to holding USD. I mean, you see if you look at the US dollar index, the US dollar has been losing value recently, which could partially be attributed to the rising crypto, because Ethereum is 385 today. The 385 today is worth less than 385 was worth 6 months ago. So it's just another consideration. There's a risk to anything in life. And my point when we were at the fair value was that there is a risk to not holding it. If you think it has to drop, then you're probably playing the wrong game. Like crypto is, you just don't really have crypto figured out, because crypto has taught us all along that you cannot predict these short-term moves. Most people cannot come to me and say that they predicted Ethereum to go from $279 down to $90 and back up to $385 in 2020. I mean, it started at 130 and then went to 285. So 130 to 285, down to 90, back up to 385. If you're trading based on your emotions, you probably got washed out, right? You were probably, and again, I'm sure there are some of you that did not. I'm sure some of you made really good trades, and are good at it. But the point is that most people are going to lose money day trading. And if you were one of the ones that got washed out, you probably were selling here, you were buying here, you were selling here, and maybe you're buying again. If you find yourself making this same mistake over and over, you need to switch your strategy. You need to come up with something. It does not have to be my risk metric. You just need to come up with something that you're going to use to say, okay, if it drops in the short term, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to capitulate. I'm not going to be the dumb money every single time. I've learned my lesson, and I'm going to I'm going to buy, right? Well, what Ben does is buy when we're in the regression band, especially. The lower we are in the regression band, the more I buy. The higher, the less I buy. It's just based on math. And when you take all of this craziness and just kind of crunch it up into a nice little risk metric that tells you, when to buy and when to sell based on your own risk tolerance, then what is it? It's just business as usual. You buy within certain risk bands, you sell within others. What happens in between is completely irrelevant, right? If you just check crypto at a nominal rate, if it's in your buy region, you're buying.
It's chocolate milk.
Okay.
It's down there and I can't open
Okay, I'll get it. You want to bring it up to me? Sorry, that was my 4-year-old. It's, I don't even know what I was saying. So, it's the same thing over and over, right? You have to figure out what your resolve is and stick to it. So this is the goal. And Ethereum, and Bitcoin is a similar story, right? I mean, it's really not that different. The volatility on Bitcoin is not quite as bad as it is on Ethereum, but even this year, it started off at 7,000, came up to 10,000, back down to 3,800, and then back up to the current. Do you want to say hi to everyone?
Hi, Owen.
And tell them to buy Bitcoin? You say that?
Say that.
Say buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin.
All right. That is not financial advice, by the way. I'm not saying that anyone should be buying Bitcoin. All right, do we have any questions, by the way? All right, guys, give the video a like. I see 841 people and 108 likes. I mean, what is this? This is not business as usual. 111 likes. Come on. And again, my 4-year-old is not offering financial advice in any way. He's just simply alerting you guys to what he is doing, because he, unlike many people on crypto Twitter, crypto YouTube, have the even though he's only 4 years old, he can project out to what Bitcoin's going to be worth when he's 7. So it's like almost double his life. And he's able to, to think that far in advance. So if he can do it, you can do it. So what do you guys have for me? What do you guys want to talk about? I mean, business as usual here, right? I mean, if you want to know what I'm doing, again, check out the premium list. I use this as another chance. We've gotten a lot more people. If you want to know what I'm doing, check that out, intothecryptoverse.com, and you'll get access to like what I'm doing, like a private Telegram channel, and all sorts of stuff, like a private video every week, a private or a premium newsletter, and then a risk dashboard that you can follow along. I'm just gonna see here really quick. I'm just gonna check the prices. Because things are really heating up. Yeah, so ADA is at 14 cents still. Ethereum 386. XRP is actually seeing a nice move. It's almost 30 cents. Link 785. I wouldn't really expect Link to do a whole lot until Bitcoin cools down, to be completely honest. Litecoin 62. Remember, if Bitcoin's going up, it's going to drag the entire market with it. It looks like the main ones that are not moving right now are the ones that went up like 4 or 5x over the last few months. So if you were holding ADA, if you were holding Link, you saw really great returns on those. And then now they're not they're not going up right now as much because and it makes sense, right? I mean, it's actually quite phenomenal in my opinion that ADA is holding 14 cents, despite the fact that it was less than 2 cents in March. It's already over 14 cents and it's still holding it. So I think that's a good thing. And if Bitcoin remains bullish, then I think it's just a matter of time before ADA starts to move again. And remember, guys, like this is one day. I mean, we've been slowly trickling up for a long time now. If you see Bitcoin go back to 11.5, 11.2, don't worry about it. Like, just go outside, get some exercise, maybe wear a mask. But again, it's the same thing. It's business as usual. Nothing in crypto is going to increase monotonically without retracing a little bit. Now Ethereum, it has been going up, but it does tend to, it will retrace at some point. Again, it will. But remember, we're just getting started. This market cycle is likely going to be a long one, so it's going to last several years. And again, there's no guarantee that we're even going to hold the 20-week. I mean, there's a chance we might not. If you look back to 2019, we were at this level, right? Basically at this level in 2019. So just stay level-headed here. Don't get too euphoric. At the end of the day, or in a few years, you're going to want more than those memories of euphoria for this market cycle. You're also going to want to have known that you took profits during the market cycle as well. Thanks for the likes, guys. I think it went up like 200 likes in about 5 minutes. So Explorer says, why is Ethereum going up like crazy but not correcting or retracing? The chat can tell you the reason, right? I mean, Ethereum was a really good buy for a long time. We could come back in, but I mean, we expected this move, right? It's just business as usual, as we've said many times. Even when we were down here, we've said every step of the way, this is business as usual. And crypto, again, if you're not aware of how it works, it will chew you up and spit you out. I want you to consider, just to keep you guys on level ground here, I want you to consider what would you do if Ethereum retraced here? What would you do if it came back down to 250? Would you sell all your Ethereum? You've seen how quickly it can go back up. So just remember this, remember these times during the market cycle. Don't, selling, in my opinion, selling when it's going down, a significant amount. If you want to set stop losses, great, right? I mean, stop losses are great. I just sell based on the risk metric. I like to sell on the way up, and then I set a stop loss at a certain level so that if it retraces back a few percentage points or something, then I'll go ahead and take my profits. But if you find yourself capitulating after it's down 80% or something, this is not a good thing, generally speaking. Of course, there's probably some coins where if you had sold when it was down 80%, you probably would have done quite well because it potentially just kept on going down. But again, this is a reason why we stick to some of the major coins on the channel. We talk primarily about Bitcoin. I hold most of my crypto in Bitcoin. The second is Ethereum. And then third and fourth are Chainlink and Cardano. So those are the main 4 coins that I talk about on the channel. And again, the reason is because they tend to reduce your overall volatility and improve your risk-adjusted returns. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, and ADA. Bella. If I ever have a daughter one day, it's going to be hard not to name her Isabella. Another thing I would like to remind you guys, so many of you are you find it so easy to hold Bitcoin or hold Ethereum through 80 to 90% drops and you never sell it. Even at the top, you never sell it. But you hold it during that time, but you also hold it when it goes up. You never sell it. It's just something to consider. You have to take a step back. Do you find yourself just always being in the red? Do you just find yourself never having any profit? but there's plenty of times where you could have taken profit, like, like in these regions, here. I mean, do you just find yourself never taking it? Because if you do, then I would suggest coming up with a different strategy. I still think that, I mean, looking at the monthly chart is really nice for Bitcoin. Like, just kind of seeing the structure of the market between 10 to 14K is about as bullish as we've ever been in terms of monthly candles. And then we've spent most of our time between 6K to 10K with a brief period below it and another wick below it. But I really like this, I really like just looking at the overall market structure over a long period of time. AOL says, yeah, and that's exactly right. You have to get used to selling by doing small amounts on the way up. I'll tell you, if you've never sold, I think there's probably a decent number of you who have never sold your crypto, you only ever buy it. The first time you sell it, it feels pretty freeing, actually. And the reason is because you took profits and you're like, well, what is this? Like, what are profits? And the reason it's nice, right, is because there's a good chance that you sell it and at some point in the future, the price goes down to a value lower than you sold it for. And in that situation, you'll feel pretty good about yourself because you sold it, and then maybe you get in the chance to buy it at a lower level. The alternative is the price keeps going up, and guess what you do? It's not rocket science. You take more profits. You take more profits. We don't know where the top is. There's a chance that the top in 2020 for Bitcoin could be 15,000, and then in 2021 the top could be, and maybe it goes back down to 10,000 for 6 months and then goes back up to 20,000. Like, you don't know, right? This is why I always say, like, taking profits is a good thing. If you want to know what I'm doing, again, you can check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine. I would just say, come up with a plan, right? Come up with a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, you're going to just be sitting on the sidelines. So figure out what you're going to do now and then just stick to it. Like, if your goal is to sell Ethereum at a certain level, you do it. The issue, right, is if you set a target on Ethereum of like $15,000 or something, and you say, I'm not selling Ethereum until it reaches 15K. Well, what happens if it doesn't hit 15K ever? Or what happens if it takes 10 years? Like, there's a good chance it might go up to 5K and then crash back down to 2K, or go up to 8K and then crash back down to 4K. Like, this is a very likely scenario. I would like to remind you guys too, again, for all the new people, we do have a public Telegram group. Over 4,800 people. Let's try to make it 5,000 people today. So check out that public Telegram channel. Shark said, I avoid selling to avoid dealing with short-term capital gains taxes. Yeah, this is a good point. And the way you get around this, right, is if you're selling at various risk levels, you might have, say, 2 or 3 risk bands that you just don't sell at, okay? And you could skip over those bands and you just hold for a longer period of time. So if you're not interested in say the risk, like the trades at various risk levels, what you could do, if lengthening cycle theory is true, right, is you just accumulate until until you're about a year away from when you would want to sell. Now the issue, right, is you don't know where the peak is going to be. If you think the peak is going to be a year from now, then you're going to want to stop buying somewhat soon so that you only have to pay the long-term capital gains. Because if you're buying Bitcoin, say, 8 months from now, with the idea that you're going to sell it in 12 months, well, you will have to pay short-term capital gains on some of that. So just consider that, right? I mean, and one other thing, I mean, yeah, I get it right now. If you're buying Ethereum, like if you're buying Ethereum and you want to avoid that, you can always skip a risk ban, or you can just stop buying. Like that would be another way to look at it. Instead of selling, you could just stop buying, because the risk level is getting too high for your comfort, because there are other cryptocurrencies you can invest in. And as I said before, and bear with me, there are other asset classes besides crypto. So what questions do we have? Do we have any questions? Let me know if we have any. It looks like Bitcoin is back to 11.8. See if it can get to 12K today. Someone said, do you ever sell a part of your stack at these peaks on the way up to try and enlarge your holdings, or are you simply buying the dips? Yeah, so I do some swing trades. I publish those in the private Telegram channel. The most recent swing I did was I sold Link at 805 to Ethereum at 235. So I rode the Link wave, and then I rode the Ethereum wave. Then I sold it to Bitcoin, rode the Bitcoin wave, and then sold it back to Ethereum and rode the Ethereum wave again. I do that sometimes. It does incur a lot of trades that you have to calculate, capital gains on. It's not for everyone. It can be risky. So far, it's been working out really well. I just, I look at the risk levels on them and say, okay, well, the risk of Ethereum is higher, the risk of Bitcoin is higher, or the Link risk just went to such and such level against Bitcoin. And I just operate on that. That's all I do. I don't trade based on, like an emotion or anything. I just stick to that. Yeah, Tyler's probably right. Like we probably start still in the denial phase, or like the disbelief phase of the market cycle, where people are just so in shock that crypto could be doing this right now. How relevant are Euro levels for Bitcoin? I actually introduced Forex to the channel in the lens of Ethereum not too long ago. I do think it's important because it gives you a way to look at the prices and look at prior all-time highs against other currencies besides fiat, which is currently dropping against the euro. So I do think it is valuable in looking at other currency valuations against Bitcoin. I know most of us think of Bitcoin just in terms of USD, but if USD is dropping significantly against the euro, then this could really impact like what it even means for Bitcoin to be at a certain valuation. Like if the price is just dropping, if the USD value is dropping against the euro. And if you guys don't believe the move from Link to Ethereum to Bitcoin, like it's all documented in the alerts channel. It's all documented. As far as the CME gap go, I mean, the gaps, like, I'm not particularly sold on it, to be completely honest. Like, it's one of those things that, like, people were screaming about the 4-hour gap at 3,500 that never got filled. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't think it was going to get filled. I certainly didn't think it was going to get filled. In terms of, like, say, daily gaps, I think I don't really have like a huge opinion one way or another. I think there's a chance we fill them. I also think there's a chance we don't. And then even when Bitcoin's at 70K or something, people are still screaming for it to go back down to, like 9,600 to fill a gap. I don't think they necessarily have to be filled, but if time, as time marches on, if we continue to see them always get filled, like on the daily time frame, then maybe my opinion would change. But I mean, right now, I'm not hugely convinced that it absolutely has to get filled. And you have to consider too, like maybe it gets filled, but maybe Bitcoin goes to like 20K first. Like maybe Bitcoin goes to 20K and then retraces back down to 9,600 or something. Like this is a chance too. So do you just not ride that up and take profits, or what are you doing there? I guess is the idea. It's kind of funny how like some people are really they say all gaps are filled. Other people say no, not all gaps are filled. Um, yeah, I mean it's one of those things where everyone's going to have an opinion on it. It doesn't make that person right, and the only thing that'll help us, right, is if time continues to march on and we see we see what happens. Like so far, I mean, it seems like there's a decent chance that the gap at 9,600 or around that level does get filled. There's also a non-negligible chance that it doesn't get filled. And if it does get filled, maybe it gets filled in a year. Maybe Bitcoin does something crazy over the next year. And, do you really want to just be sitting waiting for a gap to be filled? Someone said, what do you think the peak of Ethereum will be during this cycle? I mean, if I had to guess, I would say probably just shy of 5 figures. Like maybe we make it to 10,000. I feel like there's a good chance we don't make it to 10,000. Maybe we make it to somewhere between 5 to 9,000. But we'll see. Yeah, and Two Wishful says, I think they get filled because of natural volatility, not because of some, mystical force. And this is a good thing too. I mean, like a good point. Like, the volatility of Bitcoin is really ridiculous. So there's a good chance that, the natural volatility leads us to filling gaps, and then a more methodical move up helps us to, not create more gaps, and then, we continue on our path, and then we'll obviously create a lot of gaps in the event of a parabolic move, and then we come back down and fill those gaps. This is a possibility as well. Where do you think Bitcoin will hit major resistance? Well, there's a difference between what I think and what Bitcoin does, right? Again, no one really knows. If you remember back to 2019, most people were saying that $6,000 was going to be this impossible barrier, that it was going to take months and months of testing to finally break it. And Bitcoin cut through it like butter, right? So, it's really hard to say. I mean, obviously, my inclination would be to say that 14K, closing weekly candle or closing a monthly candle above 14K would be incredibly bullish. So I would say I would expect 14K to be a potential resistance area. But again, I could be completely wrong on that, completely wrong. And maybe it just blasts through it like it blasts through 6K. But if I had to guess, I would say 14K seems as good as any as a place to say, okay, well, this is probably going to be a region where it might be hard to get through, just based on our candle tops that we saw in 2017 and 2018. I don't really put too much, I don't typically put too much credence into traditional TA, but seeing candles like this, right, where they're basically the same length, and they're reversing direction. Typically, it's a good indication of a shift, of a momentum shift. So you can see that one there, and then you see this one here as well. These are on the monthly time frames, of course. When Bitcoin goes to 150K by the end of next year, will you delete all your lengthening cycle videos? No, I'm not going to delete them. They'll stay right where they are. And if I'm wrong, I'll say, I was wrong, and I'll wipe away the tears with all the money that I made. Again, it's a theory. I think it's going to be true. I think anytime Bitcoin pumps like this, everyone's going to come out of their wherever, and they're going to scream that it's not a 4-year cycle. And then whenever Bitcoin inevitably retraces 30 or 40%, then they'll just slowly crawl back away until it starts to move again. So, until the end of 2021, like, it's really a moot point. Like, we just have to wait to see what happens. If it turns out lengthening cycle theory is wrong and we see $100,000 Bitcoin in 2021, then I'll just submit it. I'm not going to delete anything. I'll just say this is the data. This is what I thought was going to happen, and it turns out I was wrong. If I'm right, then I'm right, and we just say, well, this is what the data suggested all along, and we're just sticking to the plan. That's all it is. Lengthening cycle theory, it's just a theory. It does not necessarily mean it has to be true. I trade based on the risk levels, and I hope it's true because I think it would make the most sense. I mean, obviously it would give me more credibility, but if it's not true, then it's not true. It's not more complicated than that. Yeah, I mean, Shark Cost says, yeah, if it's wrong, we just get richer faster. Like, yeah, I mean, if it's wrong, we get richer faster, and we call it a day, and we'll reconvene on our new 4-year cycle theory. We'll reconvene, let's say, in we'll sell the peak at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, and then we'll all reconvene in 2023 to start the next bull run, and we'll just rinse and repeat every 4 years, because that's how markets work, right? We just buy every 4 years and then sell on the other off years, and we just rinse and repeat it because markets are very inefficient like that. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Also, I would appreciate it if you guys could give the video a like. We currently have 977 people viewing and 512 likes. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. None of the TradingView scripts are published yet. I was gonna do it, and then the administrative stuff of everything kind of took over, and then crypto took off. I was planning on doing precious metal stuff as well, and then everything's just kind of gotten crazy recently, so I'm just kind of waiting for things to cool down. Actually, I was thinking about making a video. Maybe I'll give you guys a heads up. On April 1st or something next year, and I'll call the video like the evidence of the 4-year cycle, and like I'll build it up, right, and then like I say, all right guys, this is the evidence for a 4-year cycle, and then the video just cuts off because there is none. We'll see if I do that. Agent Bambi says, are you still covering traditional markets in your newsletter? Yeah, of course. I still have the risk levels. I even tell people where I sell in traditional markets. Would you expect to sell your entire position at some point during this cycle, or will you keep some just to hodl just in case? If the risk level gets to the risk levels I think they're going to get to, I'm going to be out of the market, because you're talking about serious money, right? Like, if you're, I mean, we can't talk about absolutes, right? But I mean, if you're up like 50x or 20x or 30x or something, like, that's like, that can be really serious life-changing money. Like, and you said, if you have a goal for yourself, right, of, getting to a certain level, whether it's paying off your mortgage, paying off your car, paying off your student loans, whatever it is, everyone's I really don't like using the word moon, but everyone's like, moon or goal is somewhere different. Um, so, I think if you can accomplish those goals, you should. And holding forever, like let's say you own like 100 grand in Ethereum in 2023, and that 100 grand would be life changing for you. Like you could pay off your student loans, maybe you could pay off your car, and you hold it because you want to see it go to 200 grand. There's a huge chance that just goes back down to 20K. In terms of the valuation of it. So not the price of Ethereum. I'm talking about if you had that much Ethereum that was worth that much. So it depends on what your goals are, right? For me personally, I'm just going to dynamically DC out of the market. Once I'm out, I'll let you guys know, and then I will, I'll see you. I'll wish you guys a good mission. Like I'll say, what, good luck. I hope it works out, but later. I'll see you guys in mutual funds so I can preserve my wealth until I figure out my next major move. Someone said, can you enable super chat for highlighted questions? No. I don't really want tips. I don't want your tips. If you're wanting to tip me $5, why don't you go buy Ethereum with it and watch it grow? Don't tip me. You don't need to tip me. If you really want the stuff I provide, then and you find value in what I'm doing, then just purchase a month of the premium list. Get all the content up until now, and that'll be more helpful to you than just posting a one-off question on a YouTube chat. So no, I'm not going to enable premium. I'm not going to enable super chat. Hey, let's across Canada, let's chill out with the spamming there. Are we gonna see a retracement to 10,000? I don't know. Why don't you tell us, man? It looks like Bitcoin is taking the move now. Ethereum is still at 386, 385. If you look here. Let me remove some of this stuff. I'm just going to draw out a rectangle. So just kind of looking at that region. So if we take it from above our current regression line and just draw across, you can see that there is some resistance in this area, like there was here at 470 or at 389, 384. Ultimately, we just broke through it. And then went up to 1400. We also came down and held that as support right around this region, around 376 in that area. So just looking, you can see we had like a wick maybe into it over here in 2019. Right, I mean, this getting above this level is going to be a significant move for Ethereum. Like it might not happen in the short term. It's possible that it does not hit $400 in the next month. It's also possible that we go to $500 next week. It's really, and if we retrace here, it just gives you more time to accumulate, right? Just don't forget that we still likely are on the same path. The fair value, according to our non-bubble regression fit of Ethereum, is 239. The lower bound down here is 168, and the upper bound is 339. So anything in here, especially in my opinion, would be a decent buying opportunity. So between 168 to 339 is definitely an accumulation zone for me. And if it goes below that, if you actually see values below it, like these wicks below it, then I mean that's like the opportunity of a lifetime, in my opinion. All right, what other questions do we have? It's actually hard to keep up with all the questions. Anytime I'm reading a question, there's just so many more pouring through that it's hard to look at them. And as we've said all along, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is continuing to climb. And why? It's because it's business as usual. Bitcoin is above the 20-week moving average. It's remaining bullish. It's not going parabolic itself. It's moving up systematically, a few percentage points a day or so. And because of that, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio, we expected this. Ethereum does have higher volatility to the downside and to the upside. So it's gaining on Bitcoin. At a point now it's 0.0326, right? So this again is just business as usual. And don't be surprised, right, if it does oscillate in this, we can see this kind of stuff here. This is possible. In 2017, I was selling. I dynamically sold on the way up because I didn't know where the top was. I didn't know that the top was going to be at like 20K. I remember selling, below 20K, and I don't think I sold right at 20K, but slightly below it. Yeah. In 2013 was the year I got, 2013 was the year I was watching the charts and was kind of clueless. I learned about Bitcoin in 2011 though, when I was in undergrad. I took a cryptography course and learned about Bitcoin then. Yeah, in terms of ADA, I would probably look to just watch for Bitcoin and Ethereum to kind of cool off a little bit before ADA starts to move. But again, if Bitcoin and Ethereum just continue this move up, then there's a chance that ADA slowly gets dragged up with it. For ADA to see another significant move, I would think that we would need to see Bitcoin to just chill out for a few weeks. Someone says, you don't sound like you're a believer in crypto and the space, just looking to make money. Do you think crypto will be relevant? So that's actually not true. I do believe in crypto. I do think it's relevant. I do think it provides a lot of value. But my point in following the crypto markets is not because I'm watching for, what new space that's being implemented today. My point to follow the crypto markets is because I want to make money. I'm not pretending to be altruistic in the sense that I think what coin is solving what problem today. I think that there's a huge value for things like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Chainlink and ADA. It's just that at the end of the day, I'm not going to lose any sleep if they don't end up going mainstream. This is the point. If Bitcoin, or let's say Ethereum, becomes this major backbone, the smart contracts throughout the years, and I didn't make any money off of it, then I would, I'd be probably pretty upset about that, right? I mean, I'd want to make money on it. I don't. Again, it's just kind of my opinion. I think that most people are here for the money. Some people say they're here for the tech, but they're really here for the money. I'm here for the money, but it would be nice if the tech also is also useful one day. But again, the future of peer-to-peer currency is likely not these coins that have super high volatility. It's likely a stable coin, as I've said before, that may or may not even exist yet. Okay, so this is the point. It may or may not even exist yet. I keep getting, guys, I see the questions. Also, if you guys could give the video a like, that'd be great. Can we get it to 1,000 likes? There's over 1,000 viewers, but less than 1,000 likes. I'm getting a lot of questions on the risk metric. I'm not. It's just that, people are paying for it, so I'd rather not publish that. I just publish it once a month or thereabouts. So if you want access to it, and you want access to what I'm doing, then again, you should just check out my website, intothecryptoverse.com. And if you do so, you will get access to a premium Telegram alerts channel, which is telling you what I'm doing. I actually just enabled discussion in that channel, so there's a discussion tab that you can talk about the markets and talk about what I'm saying. And then of course you'll get access to the weekly report that will come out tomorrow night, my time, and the weekly premium video, which will come out tomorrow night, my time. And then of course the Google Sheets risk dashboard. And if you want to sign up, you can pay with crypto and get a 6 or 12-month subscription for up to a 15% discount if paying with cryptocurrency. So check it out. Also, I would like to see if we can get the Telegram group. We have 4,861 people. Let's see if we can get it up to 5,000. So I'll post that in the chat. If you guys would join it, let's get it to 5,000. Someone asked about Monero. As I've said before, like I'm probably going to cover Monero at some point. You know, privacy coin. I do think there's a lot of value to it. You know, there's nothing wrong with maybe having a small percentage of your portfolio in privacy coins. There just are other risks associated with privacy coins. And I try to just keep my channel focused on 4 major coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, and ADA. Someone said talk about XRP. You know, I actually have a slide I'll show you guys. So these are my thoughts on XRP. So the thing with XRP, right, is I'm actually gonna, this is not working. All right, I'll just show it to you on the screen. So the thing with XRP, right, is that it does tend to bleed a lot, not just with respect to fiat, but also with respect to Bitcoin, right? We've seen this time and time again. So the question, right, is when is it going to do, you know, something like this where it just spikes up, right? This is ultimately what we're looking for. I'm personally waiting for this area down here against Bitcoin. If we don't make it there, then so be it. I will miss the run for XRP. That's just the way it is. The issue is that now that XRP is 30 cents, of course, everyone's going to say the move has already started. But, you know, you can see that over a long period of time, it has been continuing to go down. So just keep this in mind. Sorry, my son is screaming. Hey, Graham, could you please stop? You know, I think I know why my son was making those noises. I think he really does not like XRP. Actually, you know what? Someone made, I can't remember who it was. Like, if I could remember who it was, I would give them a shout out. But they said they envision, was it P Dizzle? There's a guy in my chat named P Dizzle. I don't know if it was him, but there was, the idea was if we're living in the cryptoverse, right? So we're in this universe, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Link, pretend like they're planets that are just going through their cycles, and then XRP is like Halley's Comet, right? Like you really don't want to ride that comet because it takes so long for it to do anything. But there's like 1 or 2 times per cycle where it just shoots up, right? So it's kind of someone made that metaphor, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Now let's get a shout out for P Dizzle and T Reezy. These are 2 guys in the Telegram chat, and they're pretty cool guys. They certainly make me feel cool. But believe me, I'm not under the impression that I am. It looks like for right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum have just kind of chilling at 11.8 and 3.86. All right, I'm getting some people are saying that Link is moving. Let's look at it here on Binance. All right, yeah, Link is moving back above $8, 806, 807, 808. Yeah, it is moving. This is, of course, one of the ones I do hold. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, and ADA are the main four. Yeah, let's cheer Link on. I'd really like to see Link make a nice move. Let me pull up. I'm gonna pull up Link Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, so this is right. I mean, this is the reason why I invest in Link. It's always, or historically speaking, you know, gaining on Bitcoin, which is really nice. And because of that, it reduces your overall volatility and improves your risk-adjusted return. So it maximizes your Sharpe ratio, and you know, helps your portfolio to be very efficient.
Cookies.
What?
Can I have cookies?
Can I wait? Can you wait till Daddy's done?
Can I stay with you? Stay.
Daddy's sorry that he spoke about XRP.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Do you want to tell him to buy Ethereum this time? Say buy Ethereum.
Buy Ethereum.
Okay. Again, my 4-year-old does not offer financial advice.
Daddy, they went in there and there and there.
Yeah. All right, is Link still? All right, Link's at 809, 810.
You're gonna get me cookies.
I'll get you a cookie. Why don't you go downstairs and I'll be done soon.
I'm gonna stay up here.
You're gonna stay up here.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait for you. Can I sit the book?
Yeah, you can read a book. All right, guys, I'm probably gonna have to peace out pretty soon. You really want to read that?
Yeah, I do.
He pulled out my dynamics textbook, so I'll let him read that for a little bit. That should keep him occupied. I'd like to remind you that if you have not joined the public Telegram channel, you should do so. Is Ada moving too? Yeah, Ada's moving. Looks like the whole market is really just kind of gearing up right now. Bitcoin's up, Ada's up, Ethereum. Link is up, obviously. I mean, we saw that XRP is up like 15%. So yeah, I mean, this has been a good week for crypto, and there's probably going to be many more like it over the next several years. He's literally reading my dynamics college textbook. Is that a good book?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, oh, Ethereum's starting to move again. Again, I'm gonna have to go in a minute. If you guys like the content, remember to check out the premium list. I know I've said it several times during the show. Just trying to put the plug in because I do spend a ton of time making this stuff. So do check it out. And you can, I'll put that in the description or in the comments again into the cryptoverse.com. You can pay with crypto for 6 or 12 months and get a discount. And there's a lot of stuff that you get, and there's some reviews. You can even ask questions about the Telegram channel or ask questions about the premium list in the Telegram channel if you would like. There are several hundred people on the list. Yeah, Link is really starting to pick up steam, which is really nice. It's nice when Bella is moving like all together, like when Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, and ADA are literally all going up. Is this not why we're here, right? I mean, this is just great to see. I really hope that a lot of you guys who watch the channel and heard me talking about these 4 coins for a long time now. I hope you're seeing really great returns, and hopefully you're able to realize some of those returns as well. He's literally reading the book. Are you reading that engineering book? Are those some schematics?
Yeah.
Okay. He's gonna be drawing force diagrams soon. Oh my gosh. Someone said they doubled their money with Link after they watched my video. Hey, I'm glad to hear it, man. I hope that ROI was useful. Yeah, Link is really starting to move, and this is why I love Link, right? Just when you least think it's gonna take off, it just starts moving, and then all the FUD out there disappears, and then it's just a rinse and repeat cycle. Again, another reason why I love to hold Link. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, and ADA. Can we get some likes? I really don't have many videos that get like 1,000 likes. I think most of them get like a few hundred. So it would be kind of cool if we could get to 1,000. Yeah, Link is shooting up. 828, 829, 827. Whew. And for those who are deciding not to act like adults in the chat, I am removing you from the channel, just so you know. Someone said, why do you trade between coins instead of bouncing back to USD? It depends. Sometimes I sell to USD, sometimes I sell to other coins. Oh, Ethereum's moving again. 391. And what a great day for Ethereum, right? I mean, over 12.5% already. 390 per ether. Now a 750 ether really doesn't seem like that far-fetched, right? I mean, 391. Maybe I should go buy some and set it over 400. Are we gonna watch it go above 400 right here? 393. Bitcoin's also rocking it too, closing in on 12. Probably, if these keep going up, it could be, Bitcoin is around 12K and then Ethereum's around $400. We'll see if they can break through that. And the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is still going up, 0.331. But you guys know what we call this. Business as usual. It'd be interesting to see if we could get to 400 just on the stream. For those of you who keep saying that I need to go be with my son, he's right here. I was with him all morning. I took him and his younger brother, my younger son, on a walk right before the live stream. I'm just doing what I can. My wife is sleeping because she worked a night shift last night, so. Link 828. Yeah, this stuff is it's pretty exciting, guys. But remember, just stay level-headed because if in markets where things can go up quickly, they can also go down quickly. I need to put in the regression lines for Link into TradingView. I still haven't done that yet. And Link Bitcoin, actually, let me see what Link Bitcoin is doing. Yeah, I wonder if it can come back up to the top of the range here. Well, do we have any more questions? Do you think Ethereum's going to break 400? All right, let's get some more likes. We're at 830. Let's get to 1,000. Hardly ever happens on this channel. Someone said, will Ethereum reach a higher Ethereum Bitcoin ratio this cycle? I don't really know, to be completely honest, man. I mean, there's obviously a chance that happens, but if Bitcoin goes to like 100K and Ethereum goes to 10K, and that's the 0.1 ratio right there. If we see it go higher than that, I doubt it would be that long-lived. Okay, this is my opinion. We'll see. Someone said if you talk about VeChain, I'll like every video. I talked about VeChain earlier. I even said VeChain was one of the ones that had a major move against Bitcoin. There's so many people. I talked about Bella, and I joked about adding VeChain to it and calling it like Bella V, but I didn't do that. Yeah, the premium stuff is the same thing as Patreon, but I would encourage you that if you're going to sign up on the website. Don't sign up on Patreon, because Patreon will try to they have to charge you other fees and stuff, so. in regards to our next major bull run, do you see that happening in 2021, going off the cycles? I think it's more likely to be, later than 2021. All right, guys. Any more questions? Man, we're only 115 likes away from 1,000. What a milestone that would be. There's a rumor that says that Ethereum can't break 400 until the number of likes breaks 1,000. I don't know if it's true, it's just what I heard. All right. Well, I don't really have much else to add. I mean, it's interesting because literally all I'm doing right now is sitting here and watching the price, but this somehow gets me more viewers than when I spend like 4 hours preparing like a presentation on modern portfolio theory, where I think it's a lot more useful, but they get like 100 views. Wow, 945 likes. Yeah, I would show you guys the link regression band, but I don't actually have it handy right now is the issue. Unless I have it on one of these. No. I mean, I have the Ethereum analysis video that I did a few days ago where we talked about watching this move with Ethereum against Bitcoin starting to shoot up. This is obviously a few days old, but I mean, as far as I can tell, it was a good prediction and it's playing out exactly how we said it was. $964 likes. Man, so close. I honestly don't even know why I haven't stopped the stream yet. I think I was just hoping to get to 1,000 likes first. When will Bitcoin get to 1 million, someone says? Probably not for a couple decades at the very earliest, to be honest. Matthew says, what time do you normally go live? It's not a specific time. I go live when I can. I just do it when I can. And you should turn on the bell notification. You should click the bell icon and you'll get notifications. Oh, 997 likes, 999. Oh, we got over 1,000. I'm sure, I'm absolutely positive that this is the first live stream I've ever done where I even got close to 1,000 likes. And now I'm over it, so that's great to see. Hopefully the YouTube algorithms will enjoy that and help it out. Now that we got over 1,000, hopefully Ethereum gets the memo and decides to move above 400. Matt says, how do I sign up for the premium content with crypto? You just go to intothecryptoverse.com, and if you scroll down, you can see pay with crypto. So you just pay there. And you have to pay for 6 or 12 months. I'm not going to process monthly crypto payments. It's really just not worth the administrative manual dealings of that. Yeah, I think it's going to be a long time before I get 2,000 likes on a video. I really don't see that happening. By the way, I know you guys like $50. Some guy says $50 is kind of steep. The prices are going up soon, and it's mainly because I just can't keep up with all the administrative stuff with all the new people joining. So I'm gonna have to raise prices. So they're probably gonna go up sometime in August. But if you're already on the list now, then you'll be grandfathered in, right? I'm not gonna raise the prices on the people who are already paying. But for new people like signing up later on, maybe like in September, October, the monthly prices will be higher. But yeah, I think it's time to go ahead and wrap it up. Probably should go hang out with my son right now. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe. I would like it if you subscribe to the channel. We do cover analysis here that you probably won't find most other places. So please subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up, though many of you have already done it. In fact, we have more likes right now than we have viewers. So thank you for liking the video, for subscribing, for turning on your notifications. If you want to chat with me when I get a chance, you can check out again the public Telegram channel. We are approaching, well, we have 4,870 people. So check that out. And then again, check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. I will thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see what Bitcoin and Ethereum do, and I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Bye.